When I was younger, sports were anything but stressful. One of my earliest memories is of my friends and I running outside to recess for a game of pickup basketball or soccer. At the time, the goal was just to have fun. We always included everyone. Probably the biggest controversy would have been who's better, boys or girls, or one group against another. It was never really individual comparison. I guess we were just too shielded by all of our innocence at the time to even think of comparing one another to each other. That didn't last long though. As we grew older, sports and recess time activities grew outside school. People began to do extracurricular activities, which grew into regional teams, and then national teams, high school teams, and the fast-coming college teams. Now, these transitions have not been easy for any of us. At each level, we've had to go to tryouts, and what's happened there has not been easy at all. You could say they've been emotionally damaging. For us, watching our teammates be cut from these teams, and for those cut, we've had to watch as many of us have been told that we simply aren't good enough, and that we have to just go home. We can't try again another time. It's over. For the ones who aren't cut, we just have to wonder, when is it going to be our time? When are we going to be told that we aren't the ones who are good enough? Personally, for me, and I play soccer, so there are 370,000 female soccer players in the United States. Out of these high school soccer players, only 37,000 of them will make it to the Colgate level, which isn't a great chance. That's 1 out of 10 people. And let's say all 10 of these kids really, really want it. That means 9 of these people are going to be let down. And out of all of the people playing sports in high school, only 5% of them will go to college to play sports. With chances like these, that makes every single practice and every single game very intense and stressful for many of us. None of us know, maybe that practice could be the make or break between us getting a college coach to come watch us one of our games, or even a commitment to our dream college. Student athletes aren't alone. Even the great Tiger Woods has suffered under pressure. A few years ago, when his scandal came to the public, his ranking in the league significantly dropped. Many people hypothesized that this was because of the stress he was under, which caused him to be more fatigued and more stressed out, which didn't allow him to focus as well as usual, so he didn't perform to his standard. This is because stress can have a serious impact on your immune system. When you're stressed out, your brain tells your hippocampus in your brain, which is kind of the messenger of your brain, that there is a stressful situation going on. It then sends a message to to other parts of your body. When too much of this happens, your whole body becomes overwhelmed, so your immune system breaks down, is more susceptible to viruses we encounter every day. So because of this, there are more and more doctor's visits every year. They say that 3 out of 4 doctor's visits are because of illnesses caused by stress. I mean, have you ever seen the line outside the health center during finals week? That line is practically out the door, and there are practically students lining up for blocks, all because they're just so stressed out. So they're really susceptible to all the viruses that they're encountering every day, that at one time they may have had no problem encountering with, like a simple common cold. Now it is much more serious, since their immune system can't handle all the stress and everything that's coming into them. With stress, your blood pressure begins to go up, and your body begins to make more blood sugar. This in small amounts can be beneficial, but this with an overwhelming amount will begin to make you more fatigued, and as students say, 50% of students feel that they are emotionally drained during times of stress, and that they are much more likely to have a hard time falling asleep at night, as well as eat a proper meal. While stress has been beneficial and negative to me in different times, it can also be very helpful. I remember a few years ago, I was in the final of one of my soccer tournaments. I had to take a penalty kick, and it was the last end of the game. At the time, I thought I was going to throw up. I thought everyone was watching me, everyone was counting me, and I thought there was no way I could possibly be successful. I was happily wrong. As I stepped up to take the kick, all I could think about were the eyes watching me and the way my heart was beating nonstop. Finally, though, as the whistle blew, I began to feel a sense of strange calm and focus. And so as I stepped up to the ball that day and I took the kick and I made it, I realized that sometimes if you're in a positive environment, because all of my teammates were encouraging me, stress can actually be very helpful in your situation of high intensity. This is often because when athletes become stressed, their hippocampus also sends a message to the adrenal glands, which begins to create the hormone adrenaline, which causes you to feel good. So in times of panic, you will feel good and be able to focus at a better rate than you would have before. This is only, though, if it's in small amounts. When it's in large amounts, it will be negative to yourself. Relating back to how stress can be negative, sometimes when you're stressed out, your brain begins to produce a hormone called cortisol. And cortisol can be very toxic if produced in large amounts. For example, a scientist recently did a study where they injected rats with a large amount of cortisol. And they found that their brain cells died off just as much as when those rats were placed in a situation of high stress. So while stress can be beneficial and negative at many different times, it's really the environment we are in which can decide and the way that you handle it. I believe that if we can take the inclusiveness of the kindergarten playground and bring it up to the level into our adult years, that the world will be a much less stressed out place. Thank you.